Okay, now I think we're good to go. So we got Yuya going first with Raging Bolt, playing, going for the Teal Dance, benching the Baby Bolt. Has double Hoot Hoot in the open, doesn't even need to bench Fan Rotom, which is nice in this matchup. That could be, Fan Rotom can be a bit of liability later on. We have Air Balloon, it's gotta be a Fire Energy, yeah. It looks like a Fighting Energy. We're just gonna see Air Balloon on the active, attached to the bench, and Iono. Obviously looking for Badoo here. You see Crispin, Munkidori. I think he had an Ultra Ball, but it looks like he decides that using Pollen isn't important enough to him here. I don't know. I mean, depends on what the rest of his hand was. He might really need like Dracloak next turn. Yuya off the Iono finds Crispin, so he's definitely going to be able to get a Baby Bolt attack off this turn. Target down one of those Treepies, probably the one with the energy. And this Munkidori in the active, if Jose wants to use Badoo next turn, he will still have to retreat this. And he's not going to be able to kill this Baby Bolt, so it's going to be able to go ahead and knock out, target down a Dracloak with energy next turn. And Yuya already feeling like he's in a pretty confident position. Hasn't had to use any Noctowls to get to this point either, so we got two Hoot Hoots sitting on the bench there waiting. See, Jose plays Research, able to get a Badoo down, another Treepy, attaches energy to the active, counterkicks to the Hoodoo, and Ijabon. So, I mean, this is definitely the way to get back in, but he does just have the energy in hand, so he'll be able to retreat that Hoodoo really easily. Looks like he has Latias too, so he can go for Teal Dance, and then he still has Latias to retreat the Hoot Hoot. And then, yeah, we're going to go for the GP with the Air Balloon. And, I mean, things are looking pretty rough for Jose. He needs to find another counter catcher here. He needs to... Well, no, can't even counter catcher anymore, because there's no... now that Latias is down, there's no chance of stalling anything. So how is he... He's going to have a lot of trouble ever getting set back up here. He needs to bench double Dreepy here. He's already down 2, though, so you need to find a Night Stretcher. You need to get 2 Dracloak evolved on the same turn. Your opponent knocks out one of them, and then you Neo Up Energy evolved in Dragapult on the following turn. We haven't seen any Duskulls come down yet, so I don't think this is Noir. Oh, no, there's a Duskull, so it is PultNoir. I assume he's playing Neo Up Energy, so that will still be a way to try to get a Dragapult set up. I think we saw a Crispin at some point too, so even if Yuya keeps targeting down Draclooks with energy, you can still set up a Dragapult in one turn with Crispin. I don't know when I will see my Twitch stats right now. But it looks like we find Duskull, another GP, and get the Iono. I just don't... Honestly, it already kind of feels... I mean, I'm going to write him out. It's certainly not over, but it's really, really bad here. Just got to open up my stream manager on mobile here since... I will see it from my OBS here for some reason. Yeah, we see a quick turn from Yuya. He just targets down that Munkidori. I think I would like to have seen him just keep chasing the Dreepies, or maybe even Duskull here. But he's just playing around Mind Bend. Doesn't want to get Mind Bended, I suppose. I don't think that should be a major concern, because that would unlock items. But this is also fine. The only thing about this play of Baby Bolting the Munkidori here is that now Jose is able to get 2 Dracloak down, which means next turn we could see Phantom Dive come into play. Whereas we could have potentially walled Jose out for multiple more turns if you like target on one of the Dreepies and then Jose doesn't find a Night Stretcher. Even if he does find a Night Stretcher, you can only get 1 Dracloak out then, so you can just target on the Dracloak again. So yeah, I definitely think targeting on the Dreepy is always correct there, but we're still going to target on the Dracloak with energy here, and there's still a lot of pressure on Jose. We see Night Stretcher in hand, but I don't think there's a Fez. He's going to need to just Recon Directive and hope to find something. Iono. So surely that is what we're grabbing here. Yeah, Hilda. Got grab a Dragon Bolt Neo Upper. Okay, it was Iono or Hilda, I guess. So he went for the Hilda, which makes sense. I didn't see what the other card was. Nature grabs in the Dreepy. And yeah, so now we can actually start using Phantom Dive. And Yuya's board isn't that progressed. I mean, he can probably just hit Raging Bolt Knockout here. Odds are. But, I mean, he could have gotten Iono, Dragon Bolt Neo Upper here. I would have definitely liked to see him just target down the Dreepy there. But I think this is just going to be game over at this point anyways. Now, we do see Koraidon and Energy Switch. Now, I'm curious if this is, how similar this is to the list that we saw. Okay, it's definitely not, there's definitely some differences between this and the list that we saw in Masters, top 4. Because there is Koraidon and Energy Switch, and I believe Squawkabilly. I think that was just discarded there off the Ultra Ball. But I think I see a Jamming Tower, and I don't think that was played in the Masters list. Because it was a Chen Pao instead. Okay, Ultra Ball comes down, finds Ditto just thinning out. Are we gonna see anything else thinned here? Got Fez. Ooh. Wait, he definitely just had... Did he not have... No, he had game there, right? He has 5 energy. He totally just had knockout on Dragapult. No? What am I missing? I think... I'm pretty sure he just had it. What did he... I'm so confused. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But I'm pretty sure that was just game. Or did he maybe... Sada fighting onto Bolt, lightning onto Koraidon, and only had another fighting in hand? Was the fighting the second energy that he attacked the Koraidon from hand there? That would make sense. I'm not sure. We're going to see the retreat to Dragapult. I mean, Prison certainly still not looking good for Jose. He did Iono Yuya to 1, but if he wants to attack this turn, he's going to activate Fez. I honestly think I would have preferred to just not see an attack there. Oh, yeah, okay. That's what he's doing. So he's going for the Jet Headbutt so that he doesn't knock out the Koraidon and activate Fez. That's very smart. Very smart. I'm gonna assume that that Yuya only had a fighting energy in hand and couldn't attack with Raging Bolt GX because of that. And that's why I put the Koraidon. Burst Roar, because that makes sense. Scars Nest Ball and Noctowl. Just putting the pressure on. Now, there's no way that Jose can win this turn, I don't think. But he could Iono to 1 again, and then set up for a 4-prize turn next turn. That should not be too difficult. Doesn't even need counter cards this turn. He can just put, leave the Koraidon with only 10 health left, and then does 200 to the active, and then next turn just boss the Noctowl, and then knock out both, he didn't have the Iono. So we're just going to see a Phantom Dive into the teal. So, yeah, that's going to be... Okay, he knocks out the Koraidon too. Should have at least denied the Flip the Script, I think. I mean, he already has 6 cards. Boss Badoo. Yeah, Leaf Shower. Okay, but I mean, yeah, he was probably going to lose with no Iono that turn anyways. But I do think that he could have just played around with the script at least. Even if it didn't end up being necessary. I think we're caught up to live now. I assume Yuya's going to choose to go first again. He is up a game. You can see Raging Bolt is the Juniors World Champion. These aggressive decks do tend to consistently be... Aggressive decks tend to be much better at in the Juniors division. Just because they're a little bit simpler. Not to say that these players couldn't pilot any deck to, a high skill level, but it's a little bit easier to pilot some of these aggressive decks perfectly. Also, fast games carry more weight, I think, and Juniors. You're going to finish a lot more game 3s. There's not as much egregious slow play and such like there is in Masters or Seniors. So you can actually play a fast deck and get through 3 games consistently. Raging Bolt definitely was a solid call as well. I imagine there's probably also a lot of Goldango in Juniors, which obviously is a great matchup for Raging Bolt. I know there are 2 players that I coach that both play Dango in Juniors. So, I mean, Jose just did not get set up fast enough there. I think he played it really well. I think, I don't think there's anything he really could have done differently. He played to all of his outs, and he put himself in a pretty strong spot to potentially make a comeback. But the cards early game, who were just too far behind, you really did not need to find much in that late game to take his last remaining prize cards. Alright, sorry about that. I had to try to open a really tight bottle of Parmesan cheese. But yeah, Yuya going first again. 2 Hoot Hoot and a Knock Howl off the Fan Call. Has the Baby Bolt turn 1 again. If we can get another energy onto that, I mean, we're just going to see another very, very strong start. The pressure's going to be on Jose to find an equally strong start. I think as long as Yuya gets these turn 2 Baby Bolt attacks, he's like significantly favored. Because I assume Jose does not play Shaman. And I think it's a pretty safe assumption. Maybe retreat to the Baby Bolt. I don't really like retreating to the Baby Bolt there. I guess he just didn't want to take 10 with Itchy Pollen on the Teal Mask, which is fair. I don't know, maybe that's fine. But it seems like you could maybe wait a turn and see if you could find like Latias next turn. But he's not going to have access to items anyway, so if he doesn't have a way to find Latias this turn, probably won't be able to find next turn anyways. Discarding the energy just doesn't feel great. But that's like the next thing that you really want to get down. Like, this is set up obviously super strong. The only other thing that you could ask for is the Latias. You want to get that down sooner rather than later because of Itchy Pollen. You don't want things to be able to get trapped. It looks like we're eyeing up an Arven here for Jose. We're using Arven. Gonna do a quick prize check. Presumably just going to take like Poffin, maybe Air Balloon. I don't know what tools he's playing, because obviously there's an Air Balloon. He does play Neo Upper, so there's no like Sparkling Crystal or anything like that. Maybe Defiance Band. We don't really see that in Pult very often though. An EXP share, that's actually pretty good in general here. In this matchup, if you're getting your energy targeted a lot by Baby Bolt, then you can like EXP share when you do get your first Dragon Bolt up. You don't have to worry about if it gets knocked out not having a follow-up Dragon Bolt. But I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see EXP share either. I mean, it could be like just like 2 Air Balloon. I'm trying to think of what other tools you could play to make Arven worth it here. Maybe an Evo TM. Or even a Devo TM. Still prize checking here. Looks like he's eyed up his targets. I think the judge is asking him to make a decision. Poffin, Air Balloon, boom. Using the Poffin. Dreepy. Ultra Ball discards Air Balloon and Dragapult. Interesting. Don't seem like great discards, but I guess the rest of the hand must just be better. Only 2 Dreepy is going to be really scary again here. I think a 3 is like the bare minimum to have a good early game here. Unfortunately. Because Yuya's going to be able to get the Noctowl, or get the Baby Bolt attacking now. And then he's going to target down one of these Dreepies, and then Jose's only going to be able to get 1 Dracloak next turn, so then Yuya can just target down the lone Dracloak. So eyeing up the Noctowl play, which, I mean, if he doesn't have a Crispin or a different way to attack with the Baby Bolt. Okay, we have the Sada, so we just need the Lightning, and it looks like he drew the Lightning. I don't think he had it before. I think that's why he was considering just using Noctowl for Crispin, but not even put the Noctowl in day definitely makes you much safer here, since the rest of your Pokemon, you want to keep only base Pokemon in play. That way you can get Latias out and not have anything be easily trappable. So we did get the Dracloak out. Jose is probably going to try to go for the same thing as he did last game, just counter catcher up one of these Hoots. And Ichipal in it. Probably wants to combine that with an Iono as well, because I imagine his hand is pretty big after just going Sada attach pass, or attack. Night Stretcher gets another Dreepy. And then, yeah, there's the Iono. Doesn't have the counter catcher yet. Poffin gets another Dreepy. Yep. Two more Dreepy. So we might get our lone Dracloak targeted down this turn, but we can get 2 Dracloaks out next turn if we draw well enough. That being said, the hand doesn't look amazing, to be honest. I know I saw 2 Dragapults. Those aren't going to be useful next turn. I don't know what else I saw. It looks like Yuya doesn't really have anything to progress his board either here, though. So he's just going to Baby Bolt, swing the Dracloak. Still great for him, but obviously would like to get some more going here. Maybe like a Teal Dance, dig for the Latias, Crispin. Hilda coming down here. Looking like he's eyeing up the Luminous Energy. Oh, nope. Fire and Dracloak. Okay. Well, he had the Night Stretcher, so he's got a second Dracloak. Yeah. This is the second Dracloak. So he will have the potential to use Phantom Dive next turn for sure. I think he found the Neo Upper Energy there. It looked like it was Neo Upper Research, I think, and he took the Research. So I don't know what's in his hand, so it's hard for me to say whether that is correct or not. But I do feel like he's going to need the Neo Upper Energy next turn for sure. He just attached the energy of the Dreepy. I wonder if he has like Rare Candy Dragon Bolt here, so he wants to say, okay, well, you might not know that I play Rare Candy, So you target on the Dracloak, and then I can just Rare Candy into Drake Bolt. Because these lists definitely sometimes play like a single copy of Rare Candy. Or maybe he's trying to bait Yuya into going after the Dreepy, and then he just like Neo Upper Dragon Bolt with one of the Dracloaks. Well, that is what we're going to see here. So if that is what Jose was going for, then it did work. Recon Directive. But I feel like if I were Yuya there, I might have just still gone for a Dracloak. Because I kind of... But he doesn't necessarily know whether Jose plays Rare Candy or not. So even if Jose doesn't play Rare Candy, it's still kind of a good bait. Like, oh, I might play Rare Candy. I might just Rare Candy Dragon Bolt next turn. But I think it's safer to just assume there's no Rare Candy because most of us aren't playing it. Go after one of the Dracloaks, target down the engine, and then if the other one evolves into... as long as the Rare Candy doesn't come down there, you can just take down the one with the energy after it evolves. Hawlucha comes down to just put damage counter on Teal and Hoot Hoot. And then we just see a research. Okay, I think maybe he had Neo Upper Energy and he did take it off of the Recon Directive. And I just didn't see it in hand after. And he just already had research. Because we do have Dragon Ball Neo Upper Energy here. We're just going to Ichipollen again. Okay, I guess he was looking for the counter catcher to do everything. He wanted to knock out the Teal and the Hoot Hoot here. Did not want to Phantom Dive into the Baby Bolt. But this kind of just puts him an additional turn behind, right? But we could see a 4-prize turn here if Yuya chases down the Dracloak, and then we see Dusknoir counter catcher from Jose. He can knock out Baby Bolt, Hoot Hoot, and Teal, or he can knock out Teal double Hoot Hoot, potentially. Baby Bolt, is he going to go after the Dracloak or the Dusclops? I think I would like to just see the Dusclops. Yeah, so that's what we're going to see here. Just takes that potential of a big Dusknoir play away. Yeah, I think I would have liked to see a Phantom Dive into the Baby Bolt last turn. Because now you can, now it doesn't feel like it would even be correct to Phantom Dive into the Teal. Like, sure, you'd get an additional prize, but that's 2 more energy that you're leaving on your opponent's board. You would literally just wouldn't even need to hit a Sada, you just need attachment for turn to attack with the Raging Bolt EX. And if you're gonna have to attack into the Baby Bolt anyways, I think you just do it last turn. Game is possibly coming to a close very soon. But, I mean, I'd like to see Jose pull something off here. Maybe Iono counter catcher on the Raging Bolt EX and just hope that there's no Sada found off the Iono. You can try to build towards, get a Duskull down, build towards a 6-prize turn potentially. Night Stretcher for Duskull. Oh, no, just another Dragapult. I really don't like that. Because if your first Dragapult gets knocked out, you lose anyways. So why evolve into a second one? I don't see a counter catcher. That's really bad. I think that might have been his only out here. I mean, he can just Phantom Dive into this. I mean, he didn't have Iono either, so it was already going to be bad. But we're just going to see Ichipollen here. Is he trying to Ichipollen this up until it's in Phantom Dive range? He doesn't have enough time to do that. Because even from the perspective of oh, I don't want this Dracloak to have 2 targets for Thunderburst Storm and Dracloak and Hawlucha on board. He still has the Badoo, so he still has 2 targets for Thunderburst Storm in play. Yuya using the Noctowl, gonna grab Crispin and Area 0. I don't really like putting the Noctowl into play here. That just potentially gives Jose the opportunity to buy himself more time. But, I mean, it does get you some energy out. Looks like he doesn't have another Lightning Energy to grab. Okay, there, he does. I thought it was a fighting because of the glare. So lightning onto Bolt, grass the hand, and then gonna use Teal Dance. Has another Teal Mask down. Can we find Latias? That'd be pretty good. And I would like to see the Thunderburst Storm on the active here. Okay, he's gonna get rid of the Noctowl with the Jamming Tower, so that's good at least. We're not leaving that there to get Easy Pollen trapped. And we're knocking out the Badoo. Yeah, Jose could have a Recon Directive here. Well, the Dracloak would have got knocked out anyways, I suppose. But at least you'd force, they need to have the Badoo in the active spot still. Luminous comes down on Dragapult, and we do see the Iono. He has to knock out the active here. Knocking out anything else in the Raging Bolt, attacking at anything else, can just, Raging Bolt can just win at that point. He's got a counter catcher, but yeah, he just can't use it now. It's too late. That's why I'm saying, he should have just attacked with the Big Bolt way sooner, because he was gonna have to do it eventually. And I mean, yeah, Yuya just needs... I mean, Yuya only has one card in hand. But all he needs is a single energy card, or a way to find one. One on Teal, one on Hoot Hoot. Makes sense. I think I would like to see just... Okay, yeah. So 4 on Bolt, 1 on Teal, 1 on Hoot. Makes sense. There's the other energy. That's the game. Jose's got to scoop it up. Congrats to Jose for making it so far. And congrats to Yuya for being the 2025 Juniors World Champion. With Raging Bolt EX. I think that the matchup... Yuya took control of the matchup both games really easily. I think Yuya played very, very well both games. I think that there was only one play where I wasn't sure, but I think that when he didn't go for the Raging Bolt EX for game 1, I think he did just not have it. I think I missaw, and he only had Fighting Energy in hand, so we couldn't set up the Raging Bolt EX to attack. I'm gonna assume that was the case. Jose, I think, he played very well. I think just for viewers at home, he could have played game 2 a little bit better if he had just started attacking sooner. I think he waited too long. He tried to wait to set up too much. I think maybe he had a game plan in mind and he didn't realize that he didn't have the time to build up to that game plan, that the pressure from Yuya was too much and he needed to try to curb that pressure a little bit. Should have Phantom Dived a little bit earlier, but it still would have been an uphill battle either way, for sure. Yuya definitely was in control, and Jose was definitely fighting a very uphill battle all game, both games. So congrats to both players, and that is gonna